Looks like we're talking about Farmworld today. So for those of you who do not know, Farmworld is an alternate timeline where Finn ultimately wished that the Lich never existed. Now, if you have not seen my previous Mushroom Bomb video or my video on Prismo, I would highly recommend actually going over there and watching those because they go into much more detail about what happens here, but I'll give you a quick summary. You see, Finn wished that the Lich never existed, but he had no idea that Prismo's wishes function like a monkey's paw. Because of this, he made the grave mistake of not explaining exactly how he wanted the Lich to not exist. Because of this, instead of actually wishing him out of existence, what basically happened was when the comet fell and they ended up creating a bomb out of his essence, the bomb never actually exploded. Instead, in this reality, Simon was actually able to stop it by utilizing the crown. Which brings me to a very important thing, which is the fact that 80% of what happens in the original story happens in Farmworld too. The Lich's catalyst comet still hits the Earth, Mars is still around, Abraham Lincoln is still alive, orgalorg was still defeated by golb, and so on. So everything that actually happened before the bomb still takes place. Now, it should be noted that this video is less about what happens before the bomb, but more so what happens after the bomb, because due to the fact that the mushroom bomb never actually occurred, a lot of things are different than in the main story. One major difference would be the huge disappearance of magic within this version of the Land of Ood. Not to say that magic is entirely gone, because it's not, but at the same time, due to the fact that people were not mutated by the bomb, magic was far more restricted around this time. There's also the matter of the Ice Age that was brought on when Simon actually ended up dying due to being crushed by the bomb. Due to the fact that it literally froze over the entire world for hundreds of years, a lot of people died and society regressed. Because of this, pretty much every single magic user is either dead or in hiding or have lost their minds, and while pretty much everyone else who actually does have power is most likely not a magic user to begin with. Technology has also regressed a great deal. Due to the fact that the Ice Age literally froze everything over, we are pretty much in a post-medieval dark age. From what we can see, the vast majority of civilization is just a collection of underdeveloped towns. And since there doesn't seem to be any ruling governments or massive superpowers like the Candy Kingdom, these small towns tend to be victims of small, organized crime rings, such as the Destiny Gang. However, this also leaves us to ponder what exactly happened to the elementals. Since the bomb was never dropped, a good amount of them most likely are still alive even to this day, since they take a long time to die of old age. It's possible that Patience is still frozen, as she most likely saw what would happen later down the line, but the others are most likely still wandering around as if nothing happened unless they died in the Ice Age. Something that I feel as though I should probably also mention is that Finn is still the embodiment of good from the Catalyst Comet. For some reason, a lot of people believe that within this timeline, the Catalyst Comet that represents good never actually hit Ood. I find this incredibly unlikely for a multitude of reasons. The first is that originally, when the Lich came as a Catalyst Comet, it occurred millions of years ago. Considering that we know Catalyst Comets appear every 1,000 years, I'd be a little hard-pressed to believe that his just so happens to be right after the Mushroom War. And technically, the Lich's evil still existed, so I don't entirely understand why the Catalyst Comet wouldn't still come anyway. And I know that we actually see a comet miss Earth, however, I highly doubt that was an actual Catalyst Comet, considering the Catalyst Comets have been shown to be much larger, as well as possess way more power behind them. However, disregarding cosmic beings, there are still many other creatures as well as individuals who have some importance within both timelines. A good example of this would be Billy, or in this case, Bobby. You see, in the original timeline when the bomb was dropped, pretty much every single human and creature was mutated to the point where they became an entirely different kind of species. This pretty much led to the creation of every other quote-unquote magical species within the Adventure Time universe, at least in terms of the Land of Ood. However, in Farmworld, this actually never occurred. Because of this, people who would have been incredibly mutated in the original timeline really just aren't and are actually just normal humans. A good example of this would be, like I said, Bobby, but also Choose Goose, as he is just an entirely normal human. For the most part. Bobby, despite being mutated, also seems to have a direct connection to that of the Enchiridion, showing that there are still some pockets of humans that have some magical significance. Contrary to what the show would actually show you, it's not exactly a happy ending for this world. The fact of the matter is that the bomb still went off and completely bathed the entire planet within mutagen and radiation, meaning that eventually everything that we saw in the original timeline will slowly begin to have the same effects, such as mutants, magic, as well as various other crazy things such as the Oozers. The only saving grace is that the Lich was destroyed within this particular reality. However, I'm not entirely sure whether or not he's actually gone forever, but either way, they don't have to deal with him right now. Additionally, it should be noted that Finn may have actually caused a decent amount of good when he froze everyone, because it may have actually spared them a horrifying mutated life due to the fact that they were contained. Anyway, be sure to like, subscribe, go over to my other social media platforms, and also if you have a good idea for a video, put it down in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!